Hello, my name is Curtesh and this video is about the John O'Groats Trail which I did in February of 2026. It's 145 miles long and I went northbound. So I started at Inverness and finished at John O'Groats. The guidebook recommends to do it in this direction as well, and that is the John O'Groats Trail published by Cicerone Press, and the authors are Andy Robinson and Jay Wilson. This was the second time I did the trail, the first time in 2024, and that time I went southbound, started at John O'Groats, went to Inverness, carried on to Fort William doing the Great Glen Way, and then finished at Glasgow doing the West Highland Way, which was a total of 300 miles. The reason for doing it this time was quite simple. I wanted to see the new bridge at Crackage and the improved signage and path adaptations that had taken place over the last 2 years. I know this sounds rather sad, but that's me. And yes, this is what I looked like whilst I was doing the walk. I wild camped throughout except at Hemsdale, which is about halfway, and that was to wash and most importantly to dry everything off. There were 3 nights where it went below 0 degrees centigrade whilst I was camping as well. The walk falls into 2 parts, between Inverness and Brora, which is relatively flat, straightforward, and has a reasonable amount of walking on hard surfaces. The second part is between Hemsdale and John O'Groats. That's where the walk begins proper and has more interesting features with a little bit more challenging terrain. The link between Brora and Hemsdale falls more into the second part, as it has a possibility of running across a herd of cows and the tricky situation of trying to get yourself across when you've got the railway on one side and the sea on the other. Things worth noting are that between Wick and Keys at Sinclair's Bay, you've got the situation of having to cross a river. Now, the alternate route goes across a road and a bridge and brings you back to the dunes. I don't consider this an alternative. I did it on both of my walks and consider it as main part of the walk. Also, the path between Dunbeath and Lather-on-Wheel leaves something to be desired in terms of signage and the actual path itself. So just keep on the inside of the fence at one point, you'll see in the video. When leaving Libster, I came across a river which absolutely stank. It was brown and had foam on top. My assumption is that it was agricultural runoff. I don't know if they were emptying silage tanks or whatever, but it was nasty. Do not bathe in the water around Libster or drink any water between Libster and the lighthouse, which is about 2.5 miles further north. There's about 4 kilometers north. There's a lot of agriculture around there, and even if you have a filter, I wouldn't drink that water. Just as you approach the lighthouse, about 50 meters south of it or so, there's a little stream coming there, and I drank filtered water and was fine with that. What I would like to say is there's a massive difference between the walk I did in 2024 and now in 2026. When I did it first, I had to think more like a Jedi and use the Force to guide me, because it was a matter of, right, I'm going in this direction, what am I going to do? And there wasn't really much to help you to navigate barbed wire fences and the like, and quagmires. This time there's obviously a big difference, and it makes it a lot easier. I also had to deal with a lot of barbed wire, either through loose on the ground or going over fences. What I would say is go with the expectations that you're going to get caught on it. I had brand new Gore-Tex over trousers which got caught and ripped, but that wasn't a problem. I was expecting it, so I just brought with me Tear Aid Type A and patched it up, and that wasn't a problem. I do not recommend doing this in winter. Do it in spring, summer and autumn like any normal person would. don't do what I did. An improvement for the future would involve an updated GPX file. So anyone using a GPS device would be able to follow the correct path. I use the expensive Garmin H1, which is slow in rendering and expedition mode does not work. It did work for me, it was okay. An alternative is 2Nav Terra, which is about £300 cheaper. Or you could go with your phone. If it is waterproof and has proper GPS, you'd need an Ordnance Survey app subscription for at least a month and download offline mapping. Both of those require an external power bank to be carried as well. In all, the trail is vastly improved from a couple of years ago, and I applaud everyone who has helped and contributed in one way or another. I hope you enjoy the video. So this is open 6 days a week, it's closed on Sundays, and round the side you've got toilets which are open 24/7, so 7 days a week, all day, all night. Well, I got fed up of walking in the field, a bit slow, and there's only a tiny section left now. I'm just going to veer off to the right. So this is between Brora and Helmsdale. I would advise to stay inside of the fence rather than outside, and whatever you do, don't pitch your tent here. It's got cows, lots of them somewhere. and take that advice with a pinch of salt. I'm on the outside of the fence. As you can see, there's the herd, and they even managed to make it out here, so there's no safety anywhere. But this lot will come for you because they're curious. I have actually been on the other side with them before, a couple of years ago when I did the walk. My advice is, if you are even slightly scared of cows, especially a herd coming at you, don't. This is not something I recommend, but there isn't much of an edge over here, and it's a bit slow. The last time I was videoing being close to the railway track a short while ago, the train actually came. So if you're sensible, you might actually look at when they are coming by. Or you can just move out the way. When I was here last time, the bridge did not exist. So you had to cross either over there, which is what I did, or come along at the bottom of the bridge here, which you'll see in a second. But this is a lot easier. The other way was to cross that. At the moment, that's looking way worse than it did when I was here, and what I was worried about. So now nobody has to worry. Now that's pretty close. They've all come to investigate, and they all will come charging at you if you don't keep them at bay. This is where it starts to get interesting. There's a lot of gorse over there, so this seems to be the way. Looks like I've missed a turning. I think it was over there. There's a gate, and I can see there's a post over there. The signage has improved a lot since I was last here a couple of years ago. There's a post here, there's a post over there. I've come from that direction, and the same over there. So signage has significantly improved. This is a steep section with very steep steps. I've just come across this fallen tree, but it's fully attached and I can't shift it. Neither do I have a saw, so I can't do anything. But you may come across obstacles like this. Well, there's a sign over there which clearly says John O'Groats to the right. You come diagonally across over to here. Just be mindful, there could be cows in the field. Well, it says go straight, but there's a lot of sharp prickly stuff here. So you come over the wall and then across here and then follow along there. So come from around there, over the wooded fence, come round, down, up, over this wooded fence, and then carry on along the edge here. Well, I've just backtracked, so I went up to here on the outside. There's way too much gorse, couldn't get through that, so I went back over to there, went over a little stile, over the fence, come across the field, because there is signage along the fencing there, but if you stay on the outside, there's an issue with all this gorse. So I think you may have to be on the inside. Yes, you do. I can see a post from here. So do not go on the outside of the fence. Stay on the inside. Jump over the big gate. So I've come along the inside of the gate along there, come up, and then you've got a little stile here, and then you go along this way. Might look sunny, but the direction definitely leaves something to be desired. So I gave up trying to follow the path that way because there's too much gorse, so I veered to the left up a grassy bit and I went across here, and I'm heading for it down here. I'm hoping I'll make the same point as the official path. Well, I managed to find the path. Doesn't seem to match up with GPS, but anyway. I also couldn't make head nor tail of where it was meant to be directing. So I decided, right, let's just follow the arrow. It said go along this way. I'm just assuming it's the road, so, and it's going to be a lot faster than trying to navigate up and down through there. And daylight is coming to an end soon, so I need to find somewhere quick to pitch up for the night. Yes, I have made the right decision. I was meant to walk along the road. Things have obviously changed. And the signs now will match up. Let's see where I'm going. Well, you follow the fence around and then you join on to the trail. Here you can see the difference between the original older path which I did, which would mean you'd walk on the outside of the wall along here, and the new, which is over this shiny new structure and inside the field. And this is the bookend taking you back out. And a couple of styles just to avoid a dodgy bit. So here and just over there. But to be honest, I'm okay. Bit of a drop off, but it's nothing drastic. May not want to do it on a wet and a windy day. Someone's very kindly put a bath out so you can keep yourself clean while you're on the trail. This is just out of Libster, and this water smells and looks rancid. I think it's got agricultural runoff, or I don't know what it is, but it's brown, it smells, and you can see it's not looking good. Even have a tandem bridge. Fencing all along. This looks a little bit more interesting. Yeah, let's give it a go. Made it. Well, this sign says go that way. I don't know. There's no way in. Maybe I've missed something. That might be it. I'm just sticking to the outside. There's no way I'm going over barbed wire. You'll get bits of confusion like this. You've got a barbed wire fence. The path seems to carry on. Not sure. I'm just going to follow this way. Works out all fine. This does seem to be the path. Path comes along naturally, and then there's a fence, but someone's taken off the top barbed wire, so as you can see it just carries on the inside. Back on the official trail mark, but to get here you have to go through a couple of fences. There's a little bridge and another crossing point. Some of these crossings are a bit tight. You got barbed wire at the top here too, and then this is a bit tricky to get over. So just remember, you might get caught in the barbed wire. Just come down from that way and the path seems to come along, and then there's nothing. I've been down to the bottom, there's nothing. So I've had enough. I'm just going to get up to the road and walk down to Walliger. As you can see, I'm not going mad. It's meant to be down that way. Anyway, I'm going to go on the road. I think roads are so underrated. I mean, you get to miss out on all the stuff that people have thrown out of the vehicles. I mean, look at this, it's wonderful. Walliger. Probably can't see on this camera, but I can see a whole city of wind turbines, and at night you can see the flashing red lights. It's like having a city out there at sea. I haven't done the limbo in a very, very long time, but here goes. That's the old castle of Wick. Looks like a storm's chasing me. Well, I'm chickening out of crossing the river, so I'm going to use the alternative route, which I'm assuming goes on the road, bridge, and to the other side. Past the muddy field and towards the road. And then you just turn in here and this takes you back to the dunes. You come along here to the left, you see some rubbish. There is a post where it's fallen down, and then I think you join the dunes there. The mess over there, so you veer to the left and then avoid the cows, and then you see a post. Last time I was on the other side of this fence and had that as a view. Obviously things are a lot safer now. So I'm just leaving Keys and the sheep are a little bit skeptical. If they just go over to one side, I'll get past them. Although I don't know if that's going to happen. Yes, I think we're going to work. Yep, they've gone off there. I stay on this side. Everyone's a happy bunny. I'm actually being hit by hail. Little river crossing. Absolutely freezing last night. I mean literally freezing. Even my boots have become solid. This is just from last night. So yes, it was below freezing. Don't know if you can make out, but on the right there's a white thing which is Duncansby Lighthouse. And over here we have John O'Groats.